Marvel. Marvel at this LEGO Marvel challenge. It's always tragic when our beloved heroes decide to snap their fingers and just die, forcing us to learn to never love anything lest it ripped from us. Not that I'm bitter, but I've decided I'm not going to accept that for this LEGO Marvel Superheroes run. I've decided to say no thanks to dying. It better respect my wishes or I'm going to sue so hard. Hiya friends, I'm Shenanigan and I'm dedicated to making it through all 15 levels of story mode without breaking my little LEGO body, or it's a new game for me. Grab your web shooters, masks, and remember, with great power comes great stupidity. Sandman and Abomination have taken over Grand Central Station and are holding hostages. Don't worry, with lives on the line, the good people of S.H.I.E.L.D. are definitely going to handle this delicately and with precision planning, right? Oh no, we're just sending the Hulk and Iron Man in a straight up charge. Well, good luck to those hostages then, they're going to need it. I get into a grueling fight with Abomination, which is honestly just button mashing, but all that mashing is a real workout. I don't know how the Hulk does it. Inside the station, I get stopped by Sandman's construction, and instead of just rushing through them, because, you know, I'm the freaking Incredible Hulk, and they're literally made of sand, I decided to do the long route and chuck stuff at them. Awkward when I missed, though. Bet you didn't know the Incredible title is because I have incredibly bad depth perception. Spider-Man joins us outside for a final brawl with the Sandman, and I learned that one of the Hulk's evident powers is to regrow his clothes every single time he turns into Bruce Banner. With that ability, he could put so many clothing companies out of business. I avoid all of Sandman's attacks with the genius move of just web-slinging in a circle above the ground. Unfortunately, with great overconfidence comes great humiliation. Right near the end of the fight, I take too long to swing away, and I become a squashed arachnid. Always promising when I lose the challenge in the first level. Taking a note from every villain ever though, I restart, not letting a little thing like death stop me. This time in the fight, I try to prove Bruce Banner is really just as important as Hulk by letting him defeat Sandman. Let the little guy think he's doing something, alright? He needs this. This time, I'm overly cautious, but it works, allowing me to defeat Sandman in level 1 along with him. Worries me the next moment when this guy happily gestures for me to chuck myself off this helicarrier, but I'd hate to be impolite, so jump I do. At least on my plunge to certain death, there's plenty of money. Makes it all worthwhile. After my miraculous survival, I discover the nightmare fuel that is Mr. Fantastic, transforming into everyday objects. Horrifying. Inside the Fantastic Four's home, Doc Ock is attacking, but I get why he flees shortly after seeing Mr. Fantastic turn into a screwdriver. Truly an affront to nature itself. Chasing after him, the smartest man alive is quickly subdued and is endlessly punched while I look on in wonder. That sure looks like it hurts. I'm sure he won't mind if I take a moment and gather some more studs. Even when I finally try and help out, Cap chooses to attack the money sign first. I wonder if he's trying to tell me something. As the best hero on the gig, Spidey joins us yet again, and we continue our chase of Doc Ock. I'm really thrown through a loop at the sight of Reed turning into a rocket and blasting into a wall. A rocket. How? How is he propelling himself? Where is that fire coming from? I thought this guy's only power was being ultra stretchy. Still reeling from that experience, my mind is further boggled when the heroes simply stand there and watch as Doc Ock plucks a helicopter from the air and smashes it through an entire building. Truly fantastic hero work, guys. The boss fight with Ock is actually quite easy, especially when Cap pulls out a taser from nowhere to use on the Doctor. Had no idea he was packing that. With the Doc down, Hawkeye and Black Widow head to investigate Oscorp. Of course, I managed to get myself stuck right away, while Hawkeye just stares blankly. Doesn't matter if they're the two best agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., in my hands, everyone's an idiot. When I finally manage to get inside, the ultimate moneymaker Spider-Man is waiting for me yet again, and we give chase to the Green Goblin. Seems super genius Peter lied on his resume about being smart, because he can't crack Oscorp security, but miraculously, Black Widow knows how to remember 3 colors in a row. That's why they pay her the big bucks. Catching up with Goblin, I rain down fire on him from afar, but all it causes is for him to slowly fidget his way straight through solid matter. He really is something of a scientist himself. Gobby drops us in a pit where we find ourselves facing symbiotes who thankfully have no idea how to climb a ladder. I mock some of them for being trapped and immediately find myself trapped in some symbiote goo. Twice. I hate karma. Venom awaits me at the end and is quite the pushover. To be fair to him, everyone becomes a pushover when the other guy has a giant flamethrower like this. Down on the streets, I commandeer a civilian's car and immediately get into a car accident. How dare they? I'm a spiteful hero and make sure they pay for me running into them. Honestly, some people just shouldn't be allowed to drive. When I have to use a ferry, I decide that breaking reality is better than abandoning my newly acquired car. I've arrived in prison, which many may argue is where I normally belong, but I don't intend to stay. I do intend to stand still, however, and prove why I have to avoid playing Wolverine as much as possible. His healing factor means he just won't die, even at 0 hearts, which is great for a no dying challenge I suppose, but it's a bit cheap, so minimal playing him. Just like me, these prisoners don't intend on staying, but since they're non-powered humans, I use minimal force on them. I can't be blamed if minimal force for me is a rocket to the face. After Iron Man is transformed into Flesh Man by Magneto, it's up to Hulk and Wolverine to take Sabretooth on alone. I have to commend these henchmen for continuing to put up a fight even while watching the Hulk tear apart their teammates. Not smart when he can merely clap them to death, but certainly brave. I'm pretty confused on what exactly Sabretooth's plan is in this fight though, as he seems to be merely egging us on to destroy him and nothing else. Joke's on him. Reverse psychology doesn't work when I don't have much of a mind. Not wanting to stay Flesh Man, Tony heads to pick up a new suit of armor, but the Stark Tower has been taken over. Doesn't help when the security is this easy to disable. I fight my way up to the Mark 42 suit, but unfortunately Cap can't wear it and become truly unstoppable. Up on the roof, it takes a second for my controller to respond, leading to half my health gone before I can do anything. Thankfully, there's plenty of yummy hearts to feast upon, so I may heal back up quickly. I even have a cool new heat beam, but Cap doesn't seem to like it as much when I show it off to him. When Mandarin steals the Hulkbuster armor, Iron Man calls in the rest of the Iron Suits to help out, and I take a relaxing walk while they do my job for me. While that happens, Widow, Hawkeye, and the Human Torch investigate a Hydra base where I find Clint does not have the best luck nor intelligence when he decides to keep walking into a fire till he dies. He really is dedicated to getting that Soul Stone for me. Invisibility proves very handy to bypass threats, but what is wrong with this guard that he's not phased at all by an invisible force shoving him around? Good old Hydra. Chop one head off? 2 more very blind ones will grow back. After 70 years, you'd think Red Skull would understand shooting Cap's shield does nothing. But he's a real slow learner, it seems. Some criminals have stolen some milk from Black Panther, so I melt them into oblivion. You know, sometimes I get it wrong, but I'm glad to know for certain the punishment fits the crime here. I'm really not sure why I get Pepper Pot as a reward for doing that, but sure, why not? Thor chucks us into the Bifrost, and we find that Loki's taken over Asgard for like the billionth time. I find it hard to believe these frost giants pulled it off if this one has so much trouble just entering this room. Gotta say, he's kinda cute with how hard he's trying though. When Thor gets brainwashed, I'm quick to free him like the hero I am. You know, Loki just covered Asgard in snow. I'm actively destroying a good deal of it. But heck, massive property damage is nothing I've done in the name of heroism, right? The fight against the indestructible, aptly named Destroyer would prove difficult if I couldn't constantly deflect his beam back at him. Only thing is, I need an American-themed circle to deflect, and Loki loves to destroy mine whenever I hurt him. So tell me, why do they keep falling from the ceiling? Isn't this Asgard? Why is the ceiling evidently covered in American symbolism? Wolverine takes the cosmic cube from Loki and brings it to the X-Men, who immediately come under attack for it. Of course, the secret way into the school is just behind this giant X. These guys really are quite subtle. The school's on fire and the children are in danger, so of course I just start blasting all over the place with my laser vision. Fight fire with fire, right? That's the saying? Gotta start more fires then. I face off against the unstoppable Juggernaut and find that walls have quite a habit of stopping him. Feel like he needs to change his slogan if it's that easy. Jean, you perplex me. Why the heck are we bothering to smash him out of the ice when the ice clearly has subdued him? Here's an idea. Let's just leave him in it. I guess the bright side of not wanting to leave him in the ice is getting to mind control him while hordes of his allies attack him. I hope we can all aspire to have the confidence these guys have attacking me and doing absolutely zero damage, yet not giving up. And you know, completely leaving defenseless Jean over there alone so she can mind control. With that done, it's time to play the Fantastic Four. And I'm super excited to play as the Thing, one of my favorite characters, but it seems he'd rather steal a note from Invisible Woman and just vanish. But don't worry, Reed still gets a chance to continue his streak of scarring my soul. And he doesn't stop at 1. He somehow becomes a frickin' drill, and then I'm certain just to boggle my mind even further, he becomes a full-on charger to power this bridge. How? I had to stop playing for a little while after that. After reforming my shattered mind into something vaguely coherent, I went to fight the great scientist himself, Green Gobby. Gobby here loves to chuck grenades, and I love to chuck boxes. I'm not sure if I'm blocking his grenades with my boxes, or he's blocking my boxes with his grenades, but it's quite the stalemate. I finally decided to be patient for 2 seconds and let him throw his first, then chuck the box at him, and that worked out much better. I can't help being such a strategic genius, it just comes naturally. And let me tell you though, I do get deeply traumatized watching the armless body of the Thing fly at the screen after getting hit by a grenade. That's trauma right there. I deal with it like any sane person by mocking the Goblin's bombing attempts with my force field. Reed, being Reed, of course turns into a control tower in order to steal Goblin's glider. Naturally. I'm not even surprised at this point by what the Eldritch demon that is Reed Richards can do anymore. Shortly after, I discover this dude breaking the laws of physics, and that's it. I'm accepting I don't know anything. Let's start by turning on festive hats in the middle of summer and get to celebrating Christmas early, and spend what little money I have unlocking Herbie. Sure. I might as well. Question nothing, accept everything. That's my new motto. I do my best to remember this when MODOK, the giant head built only for conquest, shows up with his army of hazmat guys and Christmas hats. It's embarrassing that these guys are the closest so far to ending my run, knocking me to only one heart. Thankfully, they're quick to drop their hearts, so I may replenish my strength and continue my run. Unfortunately, defeating the big head leads to us being deep underwater, because the plot demands it, of course, and frankly, it's a cool bit of variety. I almost refuse to go on, though, when I'm forced to make this starfish cry. Why do the game developers have to mess with my feelings like this? A short trot across the ocean floor, I discover Dr. Doom's submarine and finally capture him. So the game's won, right? Wow, that was so short. Oh, wait. Magneto's here with the Statue of Liberty to help him liberate Doom from us. What even is this game? When Lady Liberty makes me crash in the nearby power plant, I just decide to let the fires take me. Yeah, this is fine. With that nice rest, I hop back into the wonderful insanity that is Mr. Fantastic turning into a mousetrap to hurt the Statue of Liberty, because of course. She's not a fan and decides to step on us, but that just finds us inside her. It's here I find myself vexed by this single blue stud, goading me into claiming it, yet no matter what I do, my massive frame can't touch it. When I finally grab it as Mr. Fantastic, it's just not the same. When I face off against Mastermind at the top, I discover that I can still be horrified by Reed, even though he doesn't transform here. The Christmas hat somehow makes this even worse. I do manage to hold off the mind-controlled Hulk with the teacup-shaped Reed Richards, a sentence I never thought I'd say, and I'm not sure I'm better off for it. Lady Liberty gets us out of her hair by just fully removing her own head and chucking us away, so it's up to Cap and the Thing to finish the job. The mutants and the dinosaurs are coexisting peacefully here, so of course I'm going to send them all into extinction like the hero I am. If these dinosaurs knew what was good for them, they wouldn't have hatched. It's never not clobbering time after all. Storm joins us for our brawl against Rhino, who stands between us and Magneto. Thankfully, as it turns out, the best way to stop a giant humanoid rhino charging is to build a huge pumpkin. It's obvious, of course, what other solution could exist. If you ever see a giant pumpkin rushing you in the wilderness, at least you know where it came from. Right away, the next big fight occurs against Magneto as I fly around like the glorious goddess I am, avoiding his strikes. Sure, Cap gets crushed, but I'm still glorious. But it's time to finish this. With Magneto's defeat, though, he whips out a pistol, revealing himself to actually be Mystique in disguise. With a gasp, I'm forced to watch as Magneto escapes into space. Thor, Spidey, and Iron Man chase right after him, and I wonder what goes through Magnethead's mind when he destroys the short bridge to him. Does he not know all of us can either fly or web-sling? When I catch up to him, he's distracted moving a huge part of his station around, so it seems like a fantastic time to attack, right? Guys? Any second now, heroes. Well, alright, I guess we're just gonna let him go about his day then. They're obviously calculating genius moves far beyond me. I'm just going with it. The boss fight does take place right after in the next room, so I guess the last room didn't have proper boss fight vibes? I find taking the road less traveled and hiding behind this box is an extremely effective way at avoiding all the danger while making excellent progress with my heat beam. I'm nearly killed though, powering up the final object and flinging it into Magneto, but thankfully he goes down before his minions can finish me. My allies in space need backup, so I pull out my secret weapon, this bicycle. I figure if I can build up enough velocity going in a circle, I might just be able to shoot off into space doing a wheelie. The science seems pretty sound to me, but unfortunately, I don't know how to do a wheelie. Thankfully, the other heroes have managed to make it to space while I conduct my foolproof plan below. Here, on the second to last level, is where my run is truly put to the test. These turrets pop up and only Cap's shield deflection can destroy them, but as I try and remove them, an electric mutant pops up and keeps breaking my block, not allowing me to fight back. This combo tears through my health, but I manage to finally get hits in and destroy the turret, and grab a heart before immediately losing to the last enemy left. With only one heart left, I'm now deeply paranoid. Surprisingly, I encounter no more resistance beyond two easily broken turrets, and after a little flight and cutscene, I happily discover my health to be back to full. Thank you, oh great cutscene god. While deflecting beams back at Dr. Doom, I find many volunteers for also getting destroyed in the beam, most of all being Spider-Man. I can't really blame any of them either. It's a really pretty light. The only reason I'm not running into it is it's already coming right at me. With one final smack of my shield, Doom goes down. But it's not over yet. Galactus, the World Eater, has arrived, and boy is he disturbing. On one hand, he's sticking to the dress code. On the other, he makes me wish I was like Daredevil, minus the super senses. Thankfully, his ultra powers don't work when I'm carrying something heavy. Checkmate, Galactus. All we have to do is raise these giant propellers and shove them into the portal. But am I the only one wondering why we're doing this one group at a time? Let's ignore game logic, people. The Earth is about to be eaten. All these villains and heroes, and of course we have to do this in the most dramatic way possible. Ya divas. I do take the time to clean the deck of some spilled liquid though. Just because the world is about to end doesn't mean I can't help clean up around here. Despite watching us build this Earth cake, Galactus still falls for it and is knocked back into deep space with Loki for his troubles. With that, Earth is saved, and we give all the killers and psychos free reign for 30 seconds before we start chasing them. I mean, yeah, they did help save the Earth, but that's only so they can conquer it and also stay alive. I'm alright breaking this deal, but okay, guess we're going with it. No wonder New York is constantly in terrible danger. With that, though, I've done it. I've beaten the entire LEGO Marvel superhero story without dying a single time. I failed once on the first level to a pile of sand, but my second attempt has gone so much smoother. Thanks to Mr. Fantastic, I shall have endless nightmares, but I hope you all get to share them with me now. LEGO games always occupy a low difficulty rating of about 3 out of 10, but adding this challenge almost doubles the difficulty, about 5.5 out of 10. Without a doubt, it's a fun challenge to do. It's always a blast to play LEGO Marvel, and I hope you had a great time joining me. Perhaps like and subscribe if you marveled at all this and would like to see more of my shenanigans through the world of video games. Your support is worth all the purple studs in the LEGOverse, which, if you don't know, is something worth dying for, and probably killing for. Now go have a marvelous day, and as Stan Lee always said, Excelsior!